Now I'm getting all the HRE games. Alright folks, so we're back with another top 8 game with the AoE Championship 2022, organised by Mester and Mark, and we've got Iaguz on HRE in the blue trunks, FoX on Mongols in the red trunks. This is quite a nice spawn for him. He's going to save on a Gur to gather gold initially. He might not feel so inclined to rush straight away, and instead maybe opt at going for... Oh, what's he doing? He's bringing forward his villager to go for an OV down here, because I suppose he doesn't want the walk time once he starts double producing. And I mean, if these stone outcroppings are potentially quite close, you can even look at going off them. Hillendale is a weird map, and the wood spawns are really unfortunate a lot of the time. So look, we got these 2 clumps of wood here, 2 clumps of wood here, so that's sort of even for both players. But then Iaguz gets this one. Well, there's a lot more stone over on this side and a little bit more gold for FoX. So it's a bit of a weird map in terms of resource gen. Most players aren't really a huge fan of the map. I particularly am disgusted by it. Sorry to shit on Hillendale. I don't know, there's just a lot better maps to play on for varying reasons. And it's not even down to a style preference thing, it's like there are better turtle maps. You know, maps with elevation and more defended bases. Even though they've got quite a short rush distance here, which means you can sort of... It's a bit like Arabia and AoEIV, where even though it's quite a defensive looking map, you can actually go for a rush and have things go horribly right or horribly wrong very early on in the game with a quick game, which I think we're going to be seeing here. And it looks like FoX, yeah, is working towards that age 2 already, has the OVU as well. Just gathering for now. And the Iaguz also going to be able to get his arch and chapel down pretty quickly. And this seems to be... Oh yeah, there we go. He's got 4 villagers on that one. Let's see. Looks like he was only having 1 villager throw it down initially. Man, the Mongols. The buildings just look so cool. Like, what the fuck is that supposed to be? I mean, I guess it's like based off a religious site or something. So Iaguz, Ashen Chapel on the way. FoX. Ooh, doesn't seem to be gathering enough food to get his age up just yet. He has plenty of gold for it though, but he's also gathering a little bit more because he probably wants to try and squeeze in wheelbarrow once he gets an OVU. Plenty of wood in the bank as well to throw down whatever production he pleases. And Mongols, while they have a bit of a slow start, don't have to worry about houses. 3 vills on the deer stones. So the Yam network aura going to be able to give the benefit of Yam upgrade, which is the aura buff from the towers and from the deer stones for movement speed that normally only applies to cavalry and traders, to every unit for the Mongols. So it just means towering on them suddenly becomes very beneficial to their raiding. Iaguz, nice arch and chapel here, is going to be able to rely on all his food gatherers being empowered at once, as well as his wood. So 14 vills being empowered by the 1 prelate, quite massive for him early on. Meanwhile, he's got plenty of vills on this gold, so I wonder if he'll just work towards a quick age 3 or what we'll see here. Gearstone's finishing up. Another cool looking building that doesn't really seem to serve a purpose. Provide shelter. So a bit of a scout v-scout Khan going on. The beauty of the Khan has that ranged attack, a little bit weaker, but can buff his allies. Stable going down for Iaguz, so he's going to be able to harass in kind, while Skyfox can out of barracks, so he'll be able to try and deflect horseman pressure from the HRE player. So Skyfox's feudal age kicking in a little bit slow. Oh, there we go, villagers. Get back to work now. Iaguz. On the other bank, I wonder if he's going to try and go for a quick castle age. Ooh, these villagers. Better off with only a couple of them focusing down that. But meanwhile, he's actually using a scout to try and push all the deer as close as possible, which is quite nice. I was going to say he sort of was overkilling on the deer then when he could have workers already gathering, but meanwhile he's more focused on actually reducing the walk time as much as he can. Quite nice for him. Crazy little macro tricks you can fit in this game. That horseman going to be able to run straight past the spearman, but not quite going to be able to catch the Khan. Especially now that it's got the Yam network buff. Now that the spear's benefiting from the Yam network buff, going to be able to threaten the horseman, and ooh, Iaguz very close to dropping his first unit. Well, it looks like Skyfox is going to go for it. And that horseman's not really strong enough to even fight off the vills. If Skyfox turns around and just focuses down the horseman, he can pick it off before he loses any vills here. So he's in a great spot, but he doesn't seem to realize it. He's going to start dropping vills for no reason at all. Realistically, he should have just turned around and one-shot that horseman and then gone straight back on the tower. So he's dropped a vill, which is a little unfortunate because it's going to mean it's going to finish up a little bit slower than it otherwise would here. And the Iaguz is going to be able to garrison in the outpost and still get the gold behind this safely. It's really only that berries and this later gold mine that are being denied at the moment. And now we see a fast Burgrave here for Iaguz. I thought we'd see Hut do this in the previous game, but I was wrong. But we're going to see Iaguz do it in this game. So this transition, coupled with, you know, just the initial resources, that early high ground hunt. I mean, it's more of a Altai than Hill and Dale. Why? Did the guys pick the wrong map for this series? They must have. Yeah, the series was supposed to be Hill and Dale, I believe, but they picked Altai. I mean, this series was supposed to be Altai, but they picked Hill and Dale. Not that it matters. Iaguz has played the Altai build on Hill and Dale. And Skyfox trying to cut him off from resources, but bearing in mind Iaguz with the fast Burgrave, not only does he get the benefit of 5 barracks at once, he's also going to be able to use them to make heavy units, which the Mongol player doesn't really have an answer for until Castle Age themselves. They don't actually get sort of anything to train in Feudal Age that's heavy. They do get the Mangudai, so they... And I think Rus get access to Feudal Age mounted archers, which is quite versatile in the fact that you can hit and run really well, but you've got nothing to outright actually take a fight against, you know, a spam of man-at-arms out of a Burgrave or a French player going for 3 stables. But I mean, obviously, against mass knights you can get some spears, but then spears pretty inflexible against most other units in the game. Most of the non-cav units, they're basically the lowest of the totem pole. And the man-at-arms spam is going to make this dicey for Skyfox. He's going to want to try and fill the towers up and pick off man-at-arms if he can and try and repair through even if he can, but Oh, Jaeger's trying to focus down the Vils because he's noticing Skyfox trying to do the micro, trying to do the dance. And Skyfox not really able to sort of do anything with this force right now. Those Vils are all going to get picked off. And he's just going to have to retreat for now. And then meanwhile, I hope he's macroing well behind this. He's trying to work towards his age 3. He's got enough gold just about now, and he can probably just keep more. Or he can't really even afford to keep producing units and rushing out the castle age at this point, which makes this really dicey because Iaguz can basically just attack move across the map with the Burgrave production. He's even cut Stables production for the meanwhile because he can just spam the Man-at-Arms so quickly. He's already going to clean up those towers for free quite easily, and given that there's been Skyfox has invested in the arrow slits upgrade in both the towers, it's actually not an insignificant investment. We're still fairly early into the game at 11 minutes, and Iaguz with that H3 breakout with heavy armor units makes it really hard for Mongols. They've got to try and rush up the step redoubt while also just making sure that they've got enough to keep the enemy units out of their base. And the Prelate already able to try and start seizing relics. Bearing in mind Skyfox does have a pair of horsemen here and another couple of spearmen on this other relic, so Jaeger's not going to be able to get either of the closer relics for free at this point. But Skyfox also not going to be able to just camp on his safe relic. And so now Iaguz is going to try and focus down the Ovu, prevent double unit production, because now Skyfox is going to be able to access his own Man-at-Arms. Though he's not going to be able to train them quite as quickly as Iaguz can at this point, and he's going to need to try and get a bunch of Rangers or a Siege Workshop out, because he's going to need something that can deal with a lot of melee heavy armor and deal with it quickly. As Iaguz shoved well inside Skyfox's base and denying a lot of eco at the moment. 16 Vils in the garrison there, and they're not going to deal a huge amount of damage to these Man-at-Arms, because now even though HRE does get access in them in Age 2, Age 3 is when they really come alive, because they get their scaled up stats with their upgrade. And now Skyfox really being prevented from gathering around the map, and he's finding it hard to find someone to actually gather. He taps out. Iaguz takes this game, and Skyfox falls into the losers bracket.